we go. Monday night, Bobby Maximus Live, official Bobby Maximus Live. Most Monday nights I go live. I want to say every Monday night, but that would be a lie. That is untrue. And seen as the topic of today's live, hacks, fads, gimmicks, 3 easy payments of $9.99. I don't want to trick you. I don't want to mislead you. I try to go live as many Mondays as possible. But there are times I'm traveling. There are times that I have stuff going on. There are times I have to be a dad. There are times I have to do other things. So I'll be here most Mondays. So the 52 Mondays of the year, I can say with confidence, I'm going to hit like 45 of these things, all right? Today, we are going to talk about, like I said, the biggest hacks, the biggest scams, the biggest fads, the biggest 3 easy payments of $9.99 nonsense in the fitness industry. Even though I'm in the fitness industry, there are parts of it I honestly can't stand. There's so much fake BS out there. People are always trying to sell you on some new thing. And what prompted this live? There's this new study out that says ice cream is a health food, that it's heart healthy, that you can eat all the ice cream you want and you're going to wake up with a healthy heart. We know that is not true. And if you want to believe that, if you want to go stuff your face with Fat Boys, drumsticks, which are delicious, by the way, Haagen-Dazs, Pints, Breyers, like whatever you can get, and you really think that's the answer to all your fitness dreams, you deserve whatever fate befalls you. So we're going to talk about some hacks. We're going to talk about some gimmicks, some stuff you should stay away from. But I also want to talk to you today about the right way to do it. And it's not going to be easy, but I promise you it's a lot more simple than you think. And along the way, I want you to ask questions. This is a live fitness Q&A. The more questions you ask, the better this goes. I will answer all your fitness questions. So with that in mind, let's have some fun. Now, like I said, what prompted this was that ice cream post, that ice cream was a health food. You know, everyone's trying to make this process easier. Everyone's trying to tell you that you can drink, you can eat bad food, you can enjoy all the things that you really, really love, and there's not going to be a cost. That's the first thing to dispel. And AMS 45, methylene blue, don't even get me started. This is this Die Young, Brian Johnson nonsense. Stop. Gimmick, fad, hack, 100%. Now, where does this mentality come from? That we could just eat whatever we want and we're just going to see results, right? Without making a sacrifice. It's because that hits it on the head right there. People don't want to make a sacrifice. Fitness is hard. It's not easy. If it was easy, every person in the world should be fit or would be fit, not should be fit. They would be fit. And Tony D'Amico, I don't even know what TMG is, to tell you the truth. So that tells you what I think about that. All right. If you could give me a little bit more information, maybe I could hypothesize, but honestly, I have no idea what TMG is. And this brings me back to my point. Everyone wants an easy solution. Everyone's looking for that magic thing because they don't want to make the sacrifice. Fitness is not easy. Fitness takes a lot of work. Now, the good news is the process of getting fit is relatively simple, right? People ask me how I got fit, and I did one simple thing. I worked out 4 to 6 hours for 31 years straight, 4 to 6 hours a day. I sacrificed. I went to bed early. I didn't gorge myself on food or treat myself like an amusement park. But people don't want to hear that, and people want to believe they can take the easy way out and do whatever they want, like eat all the ice cream, and it's not going to have a negative effect. The best way that I can illustrate this is calories are just like your credit card. So someone can help me with some math. Tony, you're up. You're my guy today. Are you ready? And TMG refers to trimethylglycine, also known as betaine. I have no idea what it is. It sounds like some compound people are going to take to try and build muscle, lose fat, maybe stay younger. Like, my question is, what does it do? But Tony, I need you to be my guy. Are you ready to do a job for me? Give me a thumbs up if you are. I do need some help here. I'm going to need a calculator. So hopefully you can help me. So let me know if you are up to the task. AMS 45, I'll accept you as well. One of you has to do this job for me. So give me a thumbs up if you're ready to work. All right, Tony, you are my guy. Here we go. So calories, it's like money on your credit card. So let's say you're out there and you want to lose 25 pounds of fat. There are 3,600 calories in a pound of fat. So Tony, do me a favor. Go ahead and multiply 25 by 3,600. Again, that's 25 by 3,500, and put that number in the comments. And once you do, we're going to continue with this discussion. Retired 2019. How are you? Nice to see you tonight. Welcome to the Bobby Maximus, the official Bobby Maximus Live. We're just waiting on Tony to do a little bit of math. I think there's a little bit of lag between the comments and the live, but we're looking for 25 times 3,600. And I can probably pull it up on my secondary computer back here. I've got a laptop somewhere, but 3,600 calories times 25 pounds of fat. That's the premise we're working on to illustrate a point. So retired 2019 says 90,000 calories. So if you want to lose 25 pounds of fat, Zahir, thank you for that. If you want to lose 25 pounds of fat, you've got to create a 90,000 calorie deficit. There's no way around it. It's a law of thermodynamics. There's no way to cheat it. There's no way to get rid of it. So this whole ice cream thing, you really think eating ice cream is going to help you create a 90,000 calorie deficit? Like a 90,000 calorie deficit, to get rid of that, you're going to be suffering for a long time. At minimum, if you created 1,000 calorie deficit a day, which is hard for a lot of people to do, you're looking at 90 days. That's 90 hard days. And 1,000 calories, that's a lot. Like you're talking 3 McDoubles at McDonald's. Just saying. So that's a long haul. If 1,000 sounds like too much and you only want to create a 500 calorie deficit, well, now we're looking at 180 days. That is half a year. And a 500 calorie deficit, that's a big calorie deficit. So that's the thing. You can't cheat it. You can't get rid of it. It's 90,000. You got to pay that cost. You got to pay that toll. The first principle of economics is there's no such thing as a free lunch. So I don't care what food you eat. I don't care what fat burning properties it has. I don't care if there's negative calories or you eat fiber and it somehow cancels out your carbohydrates. Like that's a law of thermodynamics. You have to be in a calorie deficit for that amount of time to make this work. So just look at it like a credit card. Now, Tony, let's say you only have 12 or 10 pounds of fat to lose. Well, there's 36,000 calories, right? You got to create that deficit. You create 1,000 calories a day. It's going to take you 36 days. And it's going to hurt. You're going to have to make a sacrifice. Again, people want to tell you can eat the ice cream, you could drink, you can have the soda, you can have the whatever, because they're trying to cushion the blow. This is going to hurt. But here's the good news. Once that deficit's gone, and once you've paid it off, you're at steady state. You can put those 1,000 calories back into your diet and you're just going to maintain. Now, you can't go over and above, and that's the mistake people make, right? They create that deficit, they lose that weight, and then they just go bananas and put it all back. So the good news is to get fat, to put on weight, you have to eat in excess. So once you get back to the 0 point, it's a lot easier. Chris Reed, what about fasting? Wouldn't that make that deficit up? And yes, that would make that deficit up. If you were to, you can look at calories weekly. Say you're eating 2,000 calories a day, and you did that 7 days a week. That's 14,000 total calories. That's what you're eating. Well, if you did fasting 2 of those days, now you're only eating 10,000 calories a week. So yeah, you could create that deficit by fasting. And I don't care how you want to create the deficit. You can do it with fasting, or you could do it little by little every single day. But regardless, that toll has to be paid. Again, I don't care what type of thermogenic food you eat. It doesn't matter. Retired 2019 says, I want to lose body fat, but not muscle. So here's a big myth. If you're going to lose weight, if you're going to be in a calorie deficit, you are going to lose some muscle. Almost nobody on earth puts on muscle and loses body fat at the same time. Maybe the absolute beginner. Now, that's one of the reasons those GLP drugs can be so bad, is because when you lose a lot of weight, say you lose 20 pounds, you lose 12 pounds of muscle and 8 pounds of body fat. Like, that stuff eats your muscle. That's a fact. When a normal person loses weight, and I shouldn't say normal person, when a person that's not using the 8 of those things, when they lose 20 pounds, then 16 pounds is fat and maybe 4 is muscle. So just be clear on that. But even though you will lose a little bit of muscle, that's okay. You can put it back later. The benefit of losing fat is always more beneficial than the perceived negatives of losing a little bit of muscle, all right? So don't worry about that. You will lose a little bit, but it will be predominantly body fat. Now, the other thing is, the lower you keep that calorie deficit, the more likely you are to retain muscle. So if you're doing like a 1,500 calorie deficit a day, you're going to lose some muscle. If you're doing a 200 calorie deficit a day, you're probably not going to lose any muscle. The problem is, if you got 25 pounds of body fat to lose, it's going to take you way longer on a 200 calorie a day deficit. Does that make sense? So the more extreme you go, the more muscle you are likely to lose. C. Feldon, I watch all your training videos, especially the one on how to train like a Spartan warrior. I appreciate that. That's actually one of my favorite videos, and I love putting out all my training videos. I try to just shoot you people straight, to tell you the honest 100% truth. All right? So that first fad is these foods that can somehow increase your fat burning, or that you can eat a food and it's going to be okay. That's BS. You want to be fit. You are on the chicken, it's kind of a joke, but you are on the chicken and broccoli diet for the next 90 days, and you are starving yourself. You want to get fit? There's your path. Like, it's literally that easy. You're eating chicken, sweet potatoes, like white rice, like here we go. So the second fad that I can't stand is that you can get more for less. Look at Olympic athletes. There was actually a study done by Steven Seiler, I think it was 2007, that studied how much Olympic athletes train. And they all train around 1,000 hours a year, some a little more, some a little less. You know what that looks like? It's like 20 hours a week for 50 weeks out of the year. Like, it's like a full-time job. This is what these guys are doing. How much basketball has LeBron James played in his life? How much football has Tom Brady played? How much tape has that man watched, right? It's you got to do more. So this whole Mike Mentzer nonsense, Tim Ferriss minimum effective dose, it's nonsense. If you want to be good at something, you got to do it every day, and you got to put in more time. These 10-minute workouts, these 15-minute workouts, BS. They're not going to all of a sudden turn you into an Olympian or a Navy SEAL wrapped in body armor, all right? It just doesn't work that way, and I'll continue on that in a moment. But olive oil shots make you fat. It's not that the shots make you fat. It's, can you afford the extra calories? If you're eating a calorie surplus, you are going to put on body fat. Roses and Bees, 58-year-old female, what do you recommend to increase my muscle? I'm a runner and weigh 127 pounds. Two things. You need to eat more protein, and you need more resistance training in the gym. We need some weight training. You can't just run. You need some weight training. I'd recommend 3 to 4 days a week at 58 years old. If you can get 3 to 4 days a week of weight training, that will help you increase your muscle. Retired 2019. Can I go from 27% body fat to 15% in 6 months? The answer is yes, but let's do some math. How much do you weigh, retired 2019? Tell me that, and then we'll break this down. This is actually going to be a really good lesson for people here. For those that don't want to make that much time, is the Mike Mentzer approach okay? Thanks, been watching you since Ultimate Fighter. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Now, the Mike Mentzer approach is that you work out less time and that intensity is going to make up for it. The big thing that people don't understand is what real intensity looks like. Like you can do the Mike Mentzer thing, but you got to work out hard like Mike Mentzer worked out. And most of you have no clue what real intensity is. So let me give you an example. If you can do 100 pull-ups, 100 dips, 100 push-ups in 15 minutes, you can work out 15 minutes a day and you can maintain a high level of fitness. The problem is most of you can't do a pull-up, period. Most of you don't have a chance in hell of doing 100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, and 100 dips in 15 minutes. Therefore, you're not going to get fit on these super, super short workouts. If you want to take advantage of these short workouts, you got to go hard. Intensity is the inverse of duration. So if you have a huge training history, actually, let me word this a different way. If you can run a 5-minute mile, you can stay fit in 5 minutes a day. Problem is, you have to put hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into the process of running a 5-minute mile. So that is my thoughts on that. So the Mike Mentzer approach, you can't get more for less. You gotta put in more time. And the person that can do that is the person that's put hours and hours and hours and hours into the training. So retired 29, you're 182 pounds. So we're back to this. So retired 2019 asked, can I go from 27% body fat to 15% in 6 months? So let's see. So you have 1.82 pounds per percent of your body weight. So if you want to lose 12%, what I want you to do is I want you to times 12 times 1.82. Let me know what that number is. So if you want to lose 12%, we got to lose a percent of your body weight is 1.82. You want to go from 27 to 15. What is 12 times 1.82? Give me that number. This is going to be a math thing for you all. So give me that number, and then we will continue with the conversation. And Savage Gentleman, you're right, like death kill mode or whatever you call it, it is hard to go that hard every single day. So AMS 45. So thank you for the number. We got 21.84. So retired 2019, you have 21.84 pounds of fat to lose. Times that by 3,600. Because there's 3,600 calories in a pound of fat. While I wait for that number, I think I've demonstrated this. The more is less attitude is trash. It doesn't work. You need more. You need more walking. You need more weights. You need more cardio. You need more hours. Every Olympic athlete on the planet, every professional athlete on the planet has 100% proven that. So number one, there's no special magic foods. It's literally the law of thermodynamics. Number two, you can't get more for less. You've got to do the work. It's just part of the deal. I'm sorry. All right. I said sorry like a Canadian. I was talking to my mom today. She's still in Canada. It brought out my Canadian accent. I am sorry. All right. We're waiting for these numbers. Retired 2019. What is 21 times 3,600? Or AMS 45. You can help me out too. Or Savage Gentleman Show. Or Phantom. Or Victor Gomez. Victor Gomez, I missed your question. How do you determine a calorie goal? There's a couple of ways. You can go get a body fat test and it'll give you a bunch of numbers and you can base it off the numbers that spits out. Or you can use a BMR calculator online. The ones on Google are usually really, really good. Retired 2019, 75,600 calories. That's how many you have to burn. So now 6 months, it's 180 days. Divide 75,600, divide that by 180. That's 6 months. That's about half the year. So 75,600 divided by 180. Savage Gentleman Show. Bobby, what do you think about carnivore, the meat and fruit diet for fighters? Dustin Poirier used it in his last fight and said he felt great. You know, the whole thing with diet is people try to complicate this. They try to give you the carnivore diet, they try to give you the high fat diet, the high carb, like all that stuff. Food is fuel. All right. That's the first thing. I think you could do okay on the carnivore diet if you fueled yourself adequately, if you had enough calories. And fruit's okay because you're going to get your carbohydrates. You can replace your muscle glycogen. I wouldn't want to go carnivore only as a fighter and be on a zero carb diet. But truthfully, it's not an endurance sport. You will probably be okay. So, AMS 45 says 436. Retired 2019 says 420. So the math is about a 420 calorie deficit a day. So retired 2019, if you create a 420 calorie deficit a day, you will lose that body fat in 6 months. That's how the math works. Does that make sense to everybody? Pretty simple, right? Law of thermodynamics. Now, back to Savage Gentleman Show, the carnivore diet, the vegan diet, the omnivore diet, like all these things, throw them out the window. There's only one diet you need. It's called the don't be stupid diet. No more processed food, none of this, no soda. Like basically you got to be able to murder it and cook it over fire or pluck it from a tree. If you eat like that, you will have a good diet. I don't care what you do. Do that. Comes off a tree, comes off a plant without processing, and then you got to be able to murder it and cook it over a fire. If you can do that, that is your diet. Whether you have more protein or more fruit or more produce, you're going to be fine. And by the way, the human being's an omnivore. You're meant to have some berries. You're meant to have some nuts. You're meant to have some seeds. You're meant to have some meat. That's the way it is. Bobby, what's the biggest mistake or the biggest tip you have for fighters in their strength and conditioning? The biggest tip that I have is do a lot of sport-specific conditioning. Like people treat the gym like it's magic. Like you want to have good fight conditioning, fight. You want to get good jiu-jitsu, doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu, do a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You can't be running on a treadmill and then expect all of a sudden you to be able to roll for hours. You need to do the sport-specific thing. Mr. V, you meant to have some done. Do you prefer the hex? I'm assuming the hex bar deadlift or the straight bar deadlift. And do you incorporate deadlifting in both your back and leg days? I do a lot of fat bar deadlifting because I like to work on my grip, and I generally keep my deadlifts lighter these days because I am 46 years old and there's no reason for me to try and deadlift through the roof. I used to do that, but I do a lot more body weight stuff these days, and I do a lot of light work. I actually really, really like the dumbbells with the I almost stuttered there. I do that sometimes. I prefer the deadlifts with the dumbbells. I really like RDL dumbbells. I do them a lot on the Ladder app, on Team Maximus. There's links for it all over in my bio, and there's links in the show notes to a lot of my videos. But deadlift, RDL deadlifts with dumbbells are absolutely savage for the posterior chain. So I love them. Retired 2019. I'm retired and we'll do 10,000, 12,000 steps daily, 3 full body workouts per week. I think that sounds good. And then watch what you eat. I'll tell you what, you want to just make this process easy. 1,800 calories a day. That's your max. Out of the 1,800 calories, I need you to have about 185 grams of protein. You can get the rest from carbohydrates and fat. Don't eat a processed food and just work out and move like a savage. And in 6 months, it'll all happen. Simple. So we talked about this healthy food nonsense. We talked about the more is less attitude. All right. We talked about these specific diets. Pieces of equipment. Like, oh my gosh, I have to squat. I have to have dumbbells. I have to have kettlebells. I have to have this magical treadmill. I have to have the Jacob's Ladder rope climbing machine. No, 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 no. Do you know if you ever squatted again, it would be okay? You get plenty of leg strength through Bulgarian split squats. You could get plenty of leg strength through reverse lunges. You could get plenty of leg strength through step ups. You don't ever need to squat again. What about deadlifts? You never need to deadlift again. As long as you did something to address your posterior chain, as long as you did something like an RDL, a straight-legged deadlift, some type of stretch, right? You never need to bench press again. As long as you were doing dips, you were doing push-ups, you were doing maybe some dumbbell bench press or something like that, you'd be fine. The key is don't get hung up on specific exercises. Get hung up on the theory or the methodology behind them. All right? So don't go down the road of I have to do this one thing, and if I'm not doing this one thing, I'm not going to get fit. It's actually really funny. Back in the day, I used to do the ski erg, and I do the ski erg a lot now, but people would say, oh my gosh, I don't have a ski erg. How can I get fit? When I was fighting in the UFC, and I was arguably the fittest I've ever been in my life when I was that guy, when I was Rob Maximus McDonald, the ski erg wasn't invented. So, like, how do you think I got fit? I ran a lot. I did a lot of biking. I did a lot of fight-specific cardio. Mike Glassmaker agreed, Bobby, on week 4 with no sugar processed foods, caffeine, the changes beyond what I could ever think it has changed me. Feeling the best I have is decades. That's my guy. He is a Team Maximus athlete right there. He is one of my, I do one-on-one training with people. I have a one-on-one elite mentorship group. By the way, if you want to apply to that, you just need to send me a DM. You can go to IG, you can send me a DM and say you want to apply for my one-on-one elite mentorship program. And actually put a comment here too, but I will get back to you if you can send me a DM through IG, or go to my website and fill out the contact form, fill out the email. That's probably the best way to do it. BobbyMaximus.com, and I can help you. And you can apply, and we can see if you make the cut. Savage Gentleman, how do you program progressive overload? How many pounds at a time? And do you do a down week or a PR week? So that's a really complicated question. It depends on a lot of the intrinsic features of the program. But in general, all progressive overload means you go a little heavier, you add some reps, you add some intensity every single week. So one of my favorite ways to do it is, let's say you want to get good at the deadlift. This week, deadlift 5 sets of 3 at 135. Next week, do 5 sets of 3 at 140. The next week, do 5 sets of 3 at 145. Just add 5 pounds a week. By the end of the year, you'll add 250 pounds to that. You'll be doing 5 sets of 3 at 385, and you'll be stronger than you ever need to be. So I like just a little bit of gains. And could you take a down week? Absolutely. If I was planning that in, I'd do 6 weeks on, 1 week of a down week, 6 weeks on, 1 week of a down week. I think that's a great, simple template that covers off a lot of things. Chris Reed, I agree with you guys as well. I don't think you need to squat or deadlift. I do a lot of reverse lunges. I do a lot of air squats. I do a lot of body weight type stuff. So there we have it. No facts. No facts. What am I saying? All facts. No hacks, no gimmicks, no 3 easy payments of $9.99. It has been an absolute pleasure spending time with you all tonight. I got to go. I got some kids upstairs. They are starting to make noise. I told them we would watch Stranger Things tonight. It's a fantastic show. I absolutely love it. If you are a Stranger Things fan, give me a thumbs up. We're probably also going to do some Magic the Gathering. I absolutely love Magic the Gathering. Look, I got some cards here. I'm actually looking for a very specific card that's spiking in price right now. It's called Zask, Skittering Swarmlord. If you know anything about Magic the Gathering, you know that it fits in the new Edge of Eternity's precon. I am going down a whole rabbit hole, a whole nerd rabbit hole, but you can see I'm more than just fitness. Like, we have, that's where Sauron lives. Back here, we have some axes that were used in The Hobbit. Oh, there's Rivendell making an appearance. We have the Tower of Orthanc. And we got all the Magic the Gathering and Pokemons in the background. So I do like my nerd stuff. I do like my fitness. I do like my Stranger Things. I'm going to eat some ribeye steak. I'm going to have some arugula. Happy Gilmore, too. That is on our list to watch. But Monday night, I got to balance the fitness stuff out with all kinds of other nerd stuff. So it's going to be Magic the Gathering and Stranger Things. Listen, I had an absolute blast talking to everybody tonight. Special shout out to Michael Glassmaker. Why am I giving you a special shout out, Michael Glassmaker? Because over the past 43, 44 weeks, I've watched you work your tail off. I've watched you make sacrifices. I've watched you show up for yourself every single day. So the progress you're seeing, it's not a magical functional medicine doctor. It's not a magical trainer like Bobby Maximus. It's the fact that you've been consistent, that you showed up, that you've made sacrifices. And for that, I am extremely proud of you, and you should be proud of yourself. You are the 1% of the 1%. You're doing the work that nobody else is willing to do. And for that, I salute you. So today, I just wanted to tell you that I'm extremely proud of your progress. I'm extremely proud of your effort, and you deserve a lot of recognition. You deserve publicly a massive pat on the back. And if you want to be like Michael, if you want to work like me, I'm sure he'll tell you I'm great to work with. Go to bobbymaximus.com and send me an email using the contact form, and then you can apply to my elite one-on-one membership program, or you can send me a DM via IG. That's another easy way to do it. If you send me a DM by IG, there's no guarantee I will see it because I get so many of them. You send me that email to BOBBYMAXIMUS, bobbymaximus.com. I will see it. I will get back to you, and we can begin this journey together. Anyway, no hacks, no fads, no gimmicks, no 3 easy payments of $9.99. We have work to do. And again, Michael Glassmaker, I am so damn proud of you. I just want you to know that from the bottom of my heart, you should be proud of yourself. And on that note, go enjoy Happy Gilmore 2. I am going to enjoy Stranger Things. I'm going to watch The Upside Down, The Mind Flayer. We're going to learn about all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm going to have myself a good night. And thank you, by the way, before I go, thank you all for making my world better. Thank you all for making my night better. I love going live. I love interacting with like-minded people like you. I do have one ask, and I'm not scared to ask for this. Supers. Supers help me eat. Supers help me make content. You see, just like I believe with fitness, there's no 3 easy payments of $9.99, right? This isn't free. This takes time. This takes effort. This takes time away from other things I could be doing. Supers help me go live more. If I was getting enough supers, I would go live every single day. This golden elixir, that's a real secret. If I get enough supers, I will tell you what's in here and how it will change all your fitness dreams. See what I did there? But supers, they genuinely help me make content, and they make me feel good. Lets me know that people appreciate my hard work. It's not easy to produce a full-time YouTube channel, and I'm doing it on my own. So supers, get those supers in, buy memberships to the channel. The more you can support me, the more I can do this, and I can support you straight up. So on that note, hopefully a couple supers in. Hopefully a couple of super, I almost couldn't talk there, roll in as I'm closing out the show. Hopefully some people get some memberships. That stuff helps me a ton. But I want you to know, have a fantastic week. Invest in you. There are no hacks, no fads, no gimmicks, no 3 easy payments of $9.99. The secret that you're looking for, it's simple consistency. Now go win.